Many a times we see or experience things which are out of syllabus. It's normal, it happens. But it's absolutely rare to have something where the syllabus itself is out of syllabus. Yes, I'm talking about tech interviews where the syllabus is unknown, and it's safe to say that where the syllabus itself is out of syllabus because people don't know what to ask, why they are asking these questions, and whether it has any relation to whatever they are doing day in and day out in their organizations. And many a times the interview pattern and questions are based on trends which are generally set by big tech or celebrity developers. For example, how many rounds of interview one should take, should you give some online coding exercises, and what are the specific type of questions you should ask, what are the top questions that are being asked in a particular programming language or in a particular field of work. In a nutshell, an interview is just a permutation combination of these trends. And if we are looking for similarities, I can think of only one thing which is very obvious where the syllabus itself is out of syllabus, just like tech interviews. And that particular thing is that when you select your partner for marriage, in that case also, most of the time the selection criteria of a partner is based on the trends set by celebrities, movies, and some cultural aspect will be there, like what to look for before looking for a bride or groom. And in both of these scenarios, there is no ready made set of questions or ready made way of asking questions which can make sure that your selection is the appropriate one. And of course, again, I'm talking about similarities between these two things. You will get to know whether your selection was right or wrong sooner or later, but you will get to know. Most people get to know about it very soon. And many times you realize that it has nothing to do with the screening process or the kind of questions you asked during the interview. So the big question is, what should we do? Should we stop taking interviews? Should we stop talking to people? No, not at all. In fact, you should talk to people more and more. But maybe it's a good idea to realize that whatever questions you are going to ask and whatever way you are going to judge the person whom you are interviewing has no bearing on how the person will turn out to be. And the idea of interview should change from the way of finding a perfect candidate to reducing your probability of failure. You cannot find a perfect candidate. There is no formula out there. But yes, you can use your intelligence to reduce the probability of failure. And that should be the crux of any technical interview. And how should we do that? Well, there are many things. Let me talk about a few. These are not comprehensive, and I am not an expert in this, but this is what I felt. First of all, it's not about what a person knows, it's all about the person's ability to learn new things. Even though you are working in same programming language on which the other person whom you are interviewing is an expert, but still the person has to learn new things, right? Your product, how it works. The person cannot come and start writing the code without understanding. So ability to learn trumps everything else. I'm willing to take a person who has more ability to learn and less programming experience than a person who has more experience in programming but has less ability to learn, because things changes and things changes very fast. But the question is, how will I know that the person is capable of learning new things? Well, for that you need to look at the person's past. In today's social media world, everybody has a LinkedIn profile, everybody keep on writing a few things, maybe creating some contents on a few things. Look at the person, try to understand the person, because you have to work with that person. For example, someone is interviewing me and asking me to reverse an array. I'll say, thank you, you don't deserve me. I'm showing you a very famous screenshot of a person who created Brew but was rejected because he couldn't invert a binary tree. This is not what we want. This is the worst thing we can do, because The person taking the interview is so much fixated on, this programming problem to be solved or this online quiz to be solved. No, that has the problem with all these things is that, it talks about what you did. Now, I'm not saying that these quizzes or programming interviews or online programming challenges are bad or something, right? Maybe you can get an initial gist out of it, but I will still not recommend, going through this, because the person who is really working on his or her project is so much focused on that they didn't get time to revise all those things. You know, if you ask me to write any data structure in at least six programming languages, I can do that. Just that it may not be possible for me to do it in maybe 5 or 10 minutes time, because I'm always working on a specific project and my mindset is more towards that project, and I don't value syntaxes. Syntaxes can be learned, logic can't. Your ability to solve a problem cannot be learned easily. So when I go ahead and take any technical interview, I have only two criteria. Number one, the person's ability to learn new things. And number two, the person's ability to solve a particular technical problem. Solving again technical problem doesn't mean writing code. I know you might have heard that someone, I don't remember the name, but was saying that I hire for attitude because technology can be learned, right? And I do agree, attitude is the first thing, and that you can judge. But once you pass this attitude test, I hire for your logical problem solving skills. Syntaxes can be learned. So these are my 2 cents on reducing the probability of a bad hire during a technical interview. I'm not saying these are the perfect ways or these are the things you should follow, because I believe that you must have different options to conduct a technical interview. So I hope the information was useful to all of you. Thank you all. Thanks for watching. We will meet again. Until the next time we meet, good day, goodbye. You take care.